There's a fish. Oh man, that looks like a good one. Oh yeah, that's good fish. Feels like good fish. Hey, I'm John Thielen, host of Destination Fish. You know, I spend a lot of time trolling, and you know, looking back into the days when I was fishing professional walleye trail, I spent a lot of time trolling then, and the main reason is you cover ground. I think you have a really great shot at a big fish, maybe even a better shot at a big fish than any other tactic. And you know, trolling cranks pretty much catches fish no matter where you go. It's a good fish. I'm gonna slow this thing down just a little bit. I'll tell you what, one of the things I'm asked more often than really anything else is, I'm asked about the rod holders I use. And these rod holders, these are great. I've been using them since my tournament days on the professional walleye trail. I've been using them as a guide. I use them now fishing for fun and fishing for a living, doing TV. These things are awesome for a couple reasons. One, most of the time when fish are lost, it's when that rod is being taken out of the rod holder and you're finagling it in different directions to try to get it out. And what happens is that fish gets just a little bit of slack. And at that moment, that's when you lose good walleyes like this one right here, is when you're finagling with that fish or that rod, twisting and turning, and all of a sudden, doggone it, that fish gets a little bit of slack and he's gone. You don't ever get that with these holders. That rod simply slides right out of there. So you never have that issue. And get this fish out of here and I'll show him to you. We'll get him back. And then I'm gonna tell you more about these rod holders because they make a big difference in how often I get hooked up. Look at that, great walleye. Good fish. Man, that's cool, ain't it? That's awesome. That's how you can do trolling. Big, thick walleye living out in the basin. But what's so great about these rod holders is when I get a fish on and I go to take that rod out of the rod holder, it slides straight out. The rod never loses the bend, and that's the key. If the rod doesn't lose the bend, you're not gonna lose the fish. So when I go and grab that, it's out and then I'm smoothly reeling and here we go. I get asked every now and then, have you ever lost a rod? Never, because when you're trolling, you're putting enough pressure on these and they come in a couple different sizes. I choose to use the largest size. This is the 800 series. And what's great about these is they hold that long handle of that rod and they wedge it in there in such a way that it's not coming out. The other thing is you've got full range of movement. I can set this to do anything. So let's say we're bobber fishing. I can set that up at an angle and just put rods in those. If we're jig fishing, I can set them at a different angle. I can do anything with them. And they're all on a cam system that makes it so that I can crank it down tight and that fish is not gonna move it. So at the end of the day, it's the best rod holder out there in my opinion because it just plain and simple gets the job done no matter how I'm fishing. And it's sharp looking. They've switched them over to this black look now. You can get the rail mount system or the mount system that goes directly onto your boat and you can screw it down. I choose to use the rail mount system because it works great on my Alumatrack system. So whether you're gonna mount them on a rail, on a track system in a boat, like what I have here, or you wanna hard mount them right to the side of the boat, you can do that as well. It's an awesome setup. I can't tell you how many people have gotten in my boat over the years, and once they've fished with them, they've turned around and gone and bought them. And man, I'll tell you what, these things are the real deal.